Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to transfer your image, your hand-drawn image, onto your pot. Okay, so I have two pots over here. This one I've already transferred an image on. This one I haven't yet. I'm going to show you how to do that. So some of the things you need. Here's a towel. I'm using a towel to keep my clay kind of controlled. At home, you don't want to get it all over, so this is a good way to control it. Take a towel, put it in your lap. Now you have your clay controlled. All right, things we're going to need today: scissors, pencil. If you have these simple carving tools, awesome, or sharp knife. We are going to be carving, so maybe try to experiment with some other tools. I'm not sure what you have at home. Kitchen knife could work. Toothpick would work. I'm just thinking of little simple things that you might have around the house. A nice thing to carve with is a simple pencil. Doesn't have to be sharp, but these are going to be your tools that we're going to use for the next part of this project. Simple ceramic tools if you have them, your sharp knife, pencil, and a scissors. Alright, put those back up there. Alright, so what I did was I drew my image, and then I had access to a printer, so I copied and made a copy of it so I can keep my original image. And what I did was cut around it. Okay, so this goes away. I can recycle this. And now I have my image. So this image I will lay on the side of my pot, like so, and trace around it. I've already done this pot, so I will use this as an example for how to trim it afterwards. Okay, so next what I want to do is, sorry, that's Roy. I have this set of images to go on this pot. These pots can be asymmetrical or symmetrical. I'm going to try to go for symmetrical, so I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to work in these other designs throughout the pot. Okay, like this guy obviously has a front and a back, so that makes it semi-symmetrical. So I have a front here, and then I hand drew on the side of the pot these images and these waves down here. Okay, so we'll come right back to that pot. So the scissors are for cutting out your image. The smaller paper surface you can have, the better it'll trace on. You don't want to cut right up to it. So what we want to do is, I'm just going to cut out one of them to show you. I'm going to leave about, I'm going to say 1/4 of an inch around my hand-drawn image. Hopefully you can get 3 tracings out of a piece of paper. Sometimes not so much. Okay, so like this is too much surface. I want to make sure I get rid of that paper. So that was Roy that jumped up. This is Rye. Okay, I'm gonna get my pencil. Get rid of my scissors as everything rolls off. And then I'm going to take my pot. So I've put one embossed image on here already. It's the same as this one. And so ultimately what I'm doing is I'm taking the same image and just repeating it around the whole pot and getting an overlap. So this will be one overlap, and then when I get to the next one, I'll do something more with another image that I've drawn out. You guys don't have to be that in depth, but I'm trying to make something that I could possibly move on to and show in the next class. Alright, I'm just checking where the bottom is there, so it's up a little higher. I made 3 marks. One here, one here, one now here, that I look at it, and that's where this guy is going to go. So just a pencil or a ballpoint pen. I'm going to lay this guy on here. And I'm going to start in the middle. So I'm going to start by tracing right here. And as I trace, the paper will start to stick. Your pot should be leather hard. Don't let it get too hard, because embossing or tracing over top will get hard or difficult. Alright, so I traced through here. Now I'm going to trace down here at the bottom. If you trace in 3 different areas, it just makes life a little bit easier to make it stick. Alright. So it's going to wrinkle up. I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to make this a perfect pot or a perfect transfer image, because I'm going to come back and carve it out. So notice that that wrinkled up right there. That's okay. It makes every single flower that you put on here or image that you transfer just that more unique. So don't feel like you have to have it perfect. You can see that I'm missing spots. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody has enough clay. We'll probably just do one more project, small project after this. I would like to raku some people's pieces if they're willing. If you're in town, we'll figure out a drop off point, and my coworker at NWTC, he and I will fire them for you and get you some pieces back. But ultimate goal after all this is said and done is to get all these fired if you'd like. Okay, so now I have it traced on there. I'm going to run my finger over top to feel if I missed any spots. It feels pretty good. The reason why I can feel it is obviously I embossed it. So I missed a spot right here, so I can go back over. And then what I'm going to do is just peel away. Hopefully you guys can see that. There you go. So now I have an image there, and then shortly I'll put an image there. And then I'll put some more intermingled in throughout. Okay? So this one's symmetrical. Flower, flower, flower. Okay, that guy is done for the time being. I'm going to show you how to carve. Alright, you can use your pencil, your simple ceramic tool, or your knife. The knife is not as comfortable to hold, but what I'm going to do is, now this is where the towel comes into play. I'm going to start to remove clay. Hopefully you guys can see that. Ideally, I would like you guys to carve around it, give it some depth, make it more dimensional. But we're just going to keep these simple. We're going to carve right over the lines and make the lines solid. You should be able to see that there. Okay, so that was using our sharp knife. I'm going to take the ceramic tool. What's nice about this, it is the same idea as that. It's just easier to hold. What's interesting about working with coils, it's almost like they have a grain. Obviously, we stacked everything right on top of each other. If you did a good job of paddling and smoothing things together, they should feel really smooth as a pot. If you miss spots, it's going to feel like little dun, dun, in between each coil. And that's okay. This is learning, right? I paddled the bejeebus out of these guys. I was all over these pots, making sure they're smooth. And again, they're not perfect. Look at my lip up here. Got some texture. I have some texture down here. But it's okay. Okay, so the simple carving tool is nice because it gives you a nice deep impression or carve out. Okay, next is your pencil. You can use the pencil again, and the one thing about the pencil, it kind of really roughs up the edges. And what I would normally do is go through and do the whole pot. Okay? Go through and trace out the whole pot with my deep lines, and then let it dry a little bit, and then come back and remove the excess. I'm going to call them dingleberries. Remove the excess dingleberries. So if you have a really detailed image, that's awesome. Just think about the parts that you want to stick out. So we made pinch pots two different ways. We made the little cups, we made the jars or the lidded containers. This is a coil pot, but in those first two projects, we also learned to carve. So remember those skills. Try to incorporate them into this. All right, so for this, this can be done. If it's not done by the 16th, that's okay. I don't want you guys to rush. I want you to take your time. I just want pictures as you're working through the process, okay? You guys are doing great. I miss you all. Do not stress about anything. If you have problems come up, don't leave me in the dark. Text me, email me, whatever you have to do. Make sure I know what's going on. Yeah, no fears. Enjoy this process. If you're a drawer, 2D person, transfer your image on and see what you can do. You can give your flowers or your image depth, make them grow. You can add clay to this if you want to. If you want something to stick out a little bit further, you can add clay. That's up to you. But for the most part, let's just carve out our image. All right? Talk to you guys soon. Any questions, ask. Please ask.